1235 to Beat Miami's new number one for hip hop, R&B, and The Breakfast Club. Got a very special guest in the studio right now. Please introduce yourself.
Anthony Mackie, the Falcon from the Avengers.
In the building.
I'll get a clap track.
Of course you do. I mean,
yeah, come on, man.
We have a sound effects
button. Come on, man. Something.
Hey, listen, we're glad to have you in the studio, brother. This is one question that I personally had, so I'll get it out of the way. Obviously, with the success and everything that happened with the Black Panther movie, I was excited and happy about it. But I was like, we've had other black superheroes before Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? And done it very well at that. You know what I mean? So I know you're happy for the success for Black Panther for obvious reasons.
100%.
But what's your take on that as you also being a black superhero, before that movie came out?
I think it's very important. I think Black Panther did more for black female superheroes than it did for black male superheroes, which is even more important. I've always been a longtime advocate of young ladies having someone to be able to go to the movie theater and look at so they can emulate for themselves.
Right.
So seeing all the sisters in Black Panther doing their thing made me very proud. I feel like Chadwick held it down, did an amazing job as he always does, and there's a reason why that movie's making as much money as it does. Is because of the power of our dollar.
Yes.
And once we realize the power of our dollar, then a whole lot of things will change. But until that time, here we are.
And it's not even to say that movie made us as a people realize that, but it was a step towards it.
Don't get it twisted. Like, a whole lot of white people went to go see Black Panther. So it wasn't just because we went to go see it. It's just, you have to realize if you make a good movie with a good story, with a group of good actors, you're going to get a good product. And that's all people want for their money. So I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud. I know all the actors in that movie, so I'm very proud of them as well.
Is it a click?
It is. You have like the Marvel thing, and then like Black Panther kind of became its own thing, like their own little group. Like they would show up to set and be like, "Who? Which I love?" We're like, "Oh shit! What? Oh, you throwing gang signs in this?" Even I was like, "Yo, protect your neck!" Like they coming, So it was their own little thing on the side.
That's what's up. I'm excited because, Falcon. My brother in radio. He's really into the comics and stuff like that. That's why he's hanging out here, and you know what I mean. But me not coming from that world or as strong, I was just more excited with you and your character, and it kind of shows the power again because that got me to watch the movie or got me into it. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that? Like the fact that because of the role you play, because of the opportunity to actually introduces people who people already assume that everybody's in that whole comic book world, that you're actually introducing people to that culture based on your character.
I love it, man. I love the more people to see these movies, the better, because we're in a culture now where people aren't going to see movies. So we need to get back to that. We need to get back to, taking chicks to go see movies. That's a solid date. Like, that's a good look, you know? So it's more so about redeveloping and rebranding the culture of people going to see movies instead of me as an individual. I love what I do. I'm very fortunate to do what I do. But, it's because of Netflix and streaming sites like that, it's a dying culture. It's a dying art form. And that's something that I think Marvel is truly, truly holding down and trying to reinvent in this digital generation.
So if you had to give a reason for people to come out and see the movie based on what you just finished saying.
I will say this, after seeing the movie, it's the best, by far it's the best superhero movie I've ever seen. But it's by far the best storyline, the best plot twist. Everything about the movie works, and that's why they had to make it into 2 movies. Because it's so dynamic and because it's so powerful. And if you see part 3, you're definitely going to see part 4. And that's kind of all you can ask for. These 2 movies are the culmination of 10 years of movies.
Wow.
This is going to culminate the entire Marvel universe in these 2 movies. So it's a conclusion to a great storyline, a great group of characters. So I think that's why everybody's so fanatically into it and about it right now.
When you were younger, were you into the Marvel comics?
Nah, I wasn't into comics, man.
Right.
I was into baseball cards and fat girls. That was it. I was the nerdy dude chasing fat girls and buying baseball cards. I can name everybody on the 95 Braves squad. But I mean, it wasn't me. My brother was into it.
Okay.
But, when I was coming up, I couldn't really, and that's what's so funny nowadays when people say, oh, I'm a comic book head, this, that, and the third. There are only 4 comic books last year that sold over 100,000 copies. 4. All right? So if everybody was, I grew up reading comic books and comic books this, why are all the comic book stores out of business?
Right, why are you not supporting the culture?
You know what I mean? It's like, even before these movies, it was a selected group of people, a very finite a number of people who actually read comic books. So I appreciate and love the support for the movies, but I think as a fan, you need to go back and, if you have a character you like, go back, buy that comic book. Because they just canceled Luke Cage.
Wow.
They just canceled that comic book because it didn't sell 20,000 copies.
Yeah, that says a lot.
You know what I mean? It's a hit show. You like that character, get your kids the comic book. Get them a whole series, the whole set, and read them joints. I think that should be the power and what I want the power of the movies to do. But, it's just a different time.
I do interviews a little different, and I know we're short on time, but I want to go a little bit, because I want, you inspire, you inspire a lot of others. So I want to go a little bit of a background on you. Where you from originally?
New Orleans, 504, Sawyer Road, recognize the real, Boscoville soldier. Know that.
That's what's up. And how did you get involved, what was your introduction to acting?
I was a bad kid, and my principal wanted to put me on Ritalin. And my teacher and my mom got together and was like, my mom was an old black lady. She ain't nobody putting my baby on Ritalin. Right. So I'm putting them on drugs. So, my mom was like, Ritalin, that's a gateway drug to crack. It's not a drug. What are you talking about? So her and my teacher got together, had me audition for this after school program. And that was in 4th grade, and I've been doing it ever since.
Wow. Yeah. That's an amazing story. And see, that's what I'm talking about. It's things like that. I had a similar story with my own son. Him actually being on Ritalin, and I went to pick him up from school, and I was in tears. Yeah. Because my kid was in the back seat, numb.
Yeah, it wasn't him. It wasn't your kid, right?
You know what I mean? And he has a robust personality like myself. And obviously, I found something to do because in my days there wasn't those options. It was just you were a class clown.
That's it. That's it. Put you in the back
and whatever.
Put you on Ritalin, right?
You know what I mean? So I was able to find something to dive into. So when I experienced that, I was like, no. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's an amazing story.
Yeah, and that's all it is, man. Finding something for your kids to focus on. Finding something for them to be interested in. The world, imagine how big the world is through a kid's eyes. Right. It's just so much information, especially now. Right. You have to give them something to tap into. Like for me, it's very important for kids to be involved in STEM. Imagine a 12-year-old, 14-year-old kid who has anxiety or, a hyper disorder. Imagine giving that kid the opportunity to learn coding. Right. Everything he can create in that. Right. It's more than just popping them off and sitting them in a corner.
You're absolutely right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Let everybody know.
April 27th, best movie of all time, knocking it down, shutting doors, coming out here in Wakanda hard. Avengers 3, know that. Infinity War is going down.
Everyone's excited about it, man. Everyone's excited about it. And thank you for what you do. We wish you continued success in your career,
Appreciate
man.
you, big homie.
Anytime you come back to Miami, hopefully you can stop by and let us know what you got going on.
2 days, man. You got That's 2 days. 2 days.
Keep out of trouble.
I'm out. I'm trying to run into Rick Ross. I'm out.
Thank you so much, brother. All right?
Thank you, man.